Uh, Hello. Who are you? Huh? I told the Seth I'll give him his money next week. Don't come here again. I'll cut you up like a piece of meat. Oh, calm down. I'm here for the therapy. You know, the one which was advertised on the board, the free one for free. Oh, therapy. Oh, you have come to the right place. I'm the therapist. Hello. What seems to be your problem, sir? Okay, so I think I might be hallucinating because from the past few days, it's a very common thing that's been happening to me. Inanimate objects have begun talking to me, and I mean, it's totally normal. One just threatened to kill me with a butter knife, and the thing is, I don't have a butter knife at home. Oh, hallucinations. That's completely normal, sir. A few days ago, my neighbor thought his phone was talking to him. It was actually Alexa. Who knew there's a spirit inside your phone? If an inanimate object is talking to you, it's most probably a spirit.
Completely foolproof, yes, spirit. No doubts. Totally researched.
The best thing you can do to get rid of it is create another vessel for it to possess and then throw that vessel out. Simple as that. So that's all I have to do. Craft another vessel. That sounds very fun and also like a video idea.
Thanks, doctor.
Oh, no problem, sir. No problem. I am free these days only. What else can I do except for offer free therapy to counteract against my free time so that I can actually go against depressing and contemplating thoughts? Well, I have to go now. I have a dentist's appointment. I began this figure like any other by making a wire skeleton. Links in the description, by the way. Now I used extra wires to reinforce all the joints to make it easier on the figure in the long run. After which, in order to decrease the amount of resources I use, well, mostly sculpting material, I used sticky notes as well as paper tape to bulk up the figure. And this helped me in the long run because this way there was less weight on the joints as well as less weight on the figure as a whole. I began the sculpting on the torso by creating a very basic and general shape around the sticky notes I had just put on. Once this base sculpt was dry, I sculpted on muscle definition as well as the belt and the pouches on the waist of the figure. Now I moved on to the arms, which I believed was going to be the hardest part of the figure, but it was actually the easiest. Because well, they were super bulky and that's what I was scared of. I did them in a two-fold process. I did the upper arms first, let them dry, and then the lower arms, which is pretty simple. Again, upper arms were bulked first, and then I put on the sculpting material to define the muscles. Now, as for the lower arms, I did not use sticky notes to bulk it up. I actually made two ivory sheet tubes and installed them in the arms. Now, because of these, I could easily fit in wooden rods, which I was going to use for the changeable hand feature, which I put into this figure. I did the same implementation in the Carnage figure, links in the description. Now, because of the hollow tubes, they kind of acted like bulking, and I was able to sculpt over them. But the one thing that came into hindrance was the articulation of the arms. The legs were also done in a two-step process, but in order to counteract the articulation problem I had in the arms and not repeat it in the legs, my solution was to bulk up the legs altogether. Now, because of this, I was able to plan the sculpting out rather well as compared to the arms. First of all, I began by sculpting the thighs, and then I moved on to the lower legs. The one thing that was different in this was I sculpted the feet after the lower legs dried. Because of this, whilst the feet dried, I kept the figure standing on a flat surface. This allowed the figure's feet to dry flat, giving me a figure which could stand stationarily or even in some poses. Now the head was definitely one of the most fun processes because in this I was able to sculpt on two structural pieces, and around that I later constructed the entire head. This included sculpting in every small tooth that you see in the completed figure. Once that toothed head was dry, I was able to sculpt on some basic eyes. The swords were fairly basic. I used cotton swabs, cut their cotton tips off, and then used some paper tape to wrap around the hilt or well the lower part to create a handle. This made it better for the figure to grip it when I made the hands. Once this was done, I was able to stick in a toothpick and use that as a structural piece to sculpt on the handguard as well as the blade, completing the sword. As for the guards of the sword, I used some magic, not editing at all. I used magic. Here you go, ivory sheet, and there you have it. The sword guards are done. This was very easy to do because I have some very good control over my magic recently. Like seriously, I can turn ivory sheets into sword covers. Well, now that that was done, it was time to make all of the hands, 2 pairs to be specific. For this, I got the necessary amount of sticks and assembled them in the typical ritualistic square of holy arts. Yes, that is totally how it works. Once I assembled that, I took a ball of molded or whatever sculpting material you have and was able to summon 4 hands, out of which I got 2 fisted hands which had holes inside them for holding the swords, as well as 2 clawed hands for more expressive and dynamic poses. And all of these accessories easily fit into the peg holes which were in the arms of the figure, which I had previously made. As for some minor details, I sculpted on all the straps the figure had around its body as well as some stitch marks on the torso. And then I was able to stick on both the sword covers as well as able to put in the hands. With that, the figure is finally complete, at least the sculpting part of it. Now all that's left is the painting. Once I can finally complete the painting, that goddamn spirit can leave my house, my life, and no more hallucinations or whatever those were. Hopefully that psychologist was not complete and total bullshit. I hope. This is totally not at all whatsoever. Nope, not foreshadowing anything at all. No. Well, the painting for the figure was rather basic. I began by doing the major colors like black and red, and over them I did the minor colors like white, a yellowish shade of white, brown, and the metallic colors. Once that was done, I did some shading on the figure using a little bit of dry black as well as coat the entire thing in artist's picture varnish alongside the accessories. So here's the montage version of that. And there it is, the completed figure with all of its accessories. This includes 2 swords and 2 pairs of hands, 2 which can hold the swords and 2 which are expressive. Using all this, I was able to take a few photos. There are more over on my Instagram, as well as the DEADPOOL figure is linked in the description. Please go follow me, it's at HeyHeyUday. Now, the figure's articulation was actually very good for a bulky figure. The only problem I had was in the arms, in the elbow joint, but I was able to work around that using the accidental side joint I had implemented. Amazing. As for the accessories, they all worked as intended. Both the pairs of the hands could easily fit into their respective arms with actual ease, as well as the swords which could fit inside the hands, the fisted hands. The swords in turn could also be held inside the guards on the back of the figure. With that, I have successfully completed and remade a figure from 3 years ago. Hooray! Wait, is that a Rubik's Cube right there? Hello? Intruder! Intruder! I'm gonna have to call the police. Who's this random man in my room? Whoa! Calm down. I'm here for the free therapy session. My question is, who are you? I am the therapist. This is my office where I conduct therapy, which is not free at all. Who the hell put up a sign outside saying free therapy for free? Like, who does that? Who has so much free time? Wait, if you're the therapist, then who was the guy in the white mask? I don't know any random white helmeted man. You're out of my room before I cut you into minced paneer. Move! Oh, yo. Calm down. I'll go. I shall go.
Slash.